demigod production, some connection is there.
Okay.
Some connection is there.
But the primary thing was to make Manushya.
Made Manushya.
That's what they were looking
Yes.
for.
Yeah.
And this thing that you said, because as far as I understood from the blueprint, only Brahma created the planets. But here you are saying planets were already there, but submerged in the
Yeah.
station. Looks very contradictory.
No, the point is that Brahma creates, but somehow the water of devastation seemed to be more. And even when Brahma created, then the planets seemed to be submerged. That's what it looks like. Then the Lord came and lifted it up.
What about the Rasatal, Sutal, Patal? There also was?
Yeah, all of them were not there.
And Lord lifted them also?
No, the Lord lifted earthly planet also only. Rest of them are anyway down only.
Okay.
Rest of them are anyway lower planetary systems. So the description of earthly planet only lifting is there. It's not that there is description of lifting Atala, Sutala, Patala, etc.
Also, like the Bhumandal, there are millions of planets. Now Earth is like only one gold ball.
Yes.
So here we are talking of only that gold ball.
Yeah, looks like, because we are talking about earthly planet only. See, these things are, that's why when you study these kind of things and you try to figure out logically how these things are, it's very difficult to figure out these things logically, because we are actually studying some aspect of it. We are not studying the entire aspect of it. We are not studying the entire process of creation in a very detailed manner. That, how did Brahma create? What is the first planet he created? What is the second planet he created? How did he create? Where did he place them? We don't study all those things. We just study in general that Brahma actually created the 14 planetary system from the lotus. That's it. That's what we study. Okay. Then we come to know that the Earth planet was submerged. So somehow it looks like the Earth planet was submerged. Because we don't have the details of how it was submerged, why it was submerged, and whether it is only the Earth planet or whether it's the entire Bhumandala, which has all the planetary systems. We don't have so many details about these things. Because Bhagavatam is not interested in these things. But you may find these details if you study other Puranas. It's not that the detail will not be there. You may find these details if you study other Puranas. You may find so many details about this. Because this is not the only place where the Varaha incarnation is explained. It will be in different Puranas, the Varaha incarnation will be explained. And then the different Puranas will have different levels of explanation about the Varaha incarnation itself. So if you go to some particular Purana where there is a very detailed description of Varaha, then you may find so many details about it. But Bhagavatam doesn't have time for all those things. Bhagavatam has its own agenda. So it is moving in its own agenda.
Here also again, I don't know whether it's the same answer which we give, because it said that merge in the water of devastation. But again we did like, we drank the water and wind.
Yes.
Yeah, but we can always think that he did not drink enough. He drank, but maybe he left something. Some reason or other, finally the Earth planet was submerged. That much we know. That part we are very clear, that the Earth planet was submerged. Okay, please continue.
According to the Jiva Goswami, the Vedic literature describes the incarnation of the Varaha in two different. Yeah, in front you are not putting it, that's why I read.
No, we already read all that. We are somewhere standing here. This particular incarnation of Bor was seen by the inhabitants of the planets mentioned above. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur suggests that Maitreya amalgamated both Bor incarnations in different devastations and summarized them in his description to Vidura. So this is what happened. Okay. So now the rishis are going to start their glorification, but before that let's take a break for 10 minutes and then think seriously about how the world was submerged in our break and try to figure out what happened with the...
Can I ask you some questions?
Yes.
But it's generally not to do with this topic, is that okay?
Yes.
Earlier you mentioned about knowledge, And you said how different people have different realizations. But technically, if we are engaged in the same literature, should we not all have a common understanding?
Some understandings are common, like Jiva Swarupa, Krishna and Nityada. This is common. Everybody understands that Jiva is Krishna's servant,
Right.
right? So this is common. Some of this, like Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is common. Like this is not like different for different people. Some of the understandings are common, but to the extent of how we understand Krishna, it depends on different type of realization of different people.
Okay, fine.
Some of them are common.
And another thing is sometimes there's like spirits enter some people, right? Like I've been at like certain events and I've seen it happen. How is that possible?
Why it is not possible? A ghost can go and catch a person.
No, but it's like, you know, even some people they say, oh, like a certain spirit enters another
Yeah, that's
person.
ghost, no?
No, but they say like demigods and things like that. Is that possible?
Possible, they can, mostly demigods don't enter, mostly spirits only enter.
But how would that be like if someone's like a religious function, all of a sudden it's like their body's taken over by something and they start...
It's possible, it's possible.
Through what process does this happen?
It's just entering into the body, one subtle body entering into another body, gross body. See, the ghost and some of the features who have subtle body, they have power to enter into a gross body of a person whose subtle body is very weak and vulnerable.
Right.
Like in India, generally they say that a pregnant woman, she should not go out after sunset.
Right.
Okay. In India, generally they say pregnant woman should not go out after sunset. Why? Because her body is supposed to be very vulnerable because she is carrying a baby and her body is very vulnerable. So that vulnerable body can be easily occupied by these subtle entities who are very strong.
Right.
So they can actually enter that body forcibly. It's like a forced entry.
Right.
And then they can occupy that body and they can be in that body for some time. Like that is possible.
So in the same way, these, like you could say, these demigods, their spirit enters like...
Yeah, they can come and enter into somebody's body. It's not possible. It's not very in yoga, there is a type of yoga siddhi
Yeah.
in which a man can actually leave his body and enter into another person's body.
Seriously?
It's a type of yoga siddhi is there.
Okay, and the other thing...
And sometimes such things happen. Like I think there is also a description in Bhagavatam about it. Like a man can actually leave his body and then enter into another body.
The what happens to his existing body?
It just lies like a dead body.
Seriously?
And then the man comes back and then he can enter into his body. Those who have yoga siddhi, they can do this kind of
Would
thing.
would they enter another person's body that's living?
Yeah. Yes.
Seriously?
And they can control that body. Yeah, this black arts are very they all these things are there. Yoga siddhis, black arts, they are all like this. There's so many things can be done.
Okay, and then if one is leading a spiritual path,
Mm.
but then changes and turns back to it afterwards, would the same things still happen? So like, you know how sometimes there's like a spiritual path, right? And then someone decides to leave that path, but then over time, because of destiny, certain events would have taken place, right? But then what happens if somebody after like 10, 15 years decides to then turn to that path? What would happen to...
See, generally our understanding is Neha Vikramana Swasti. Means that whatever he has done in Krishna consciousness, it will never go away from him.
Right.
Krishna says Neha Vikramana Swasti Pratyavayo na vidyate Sulpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahatva. Even if one leaves the process in between, as long as he has practiced the process nicely, when he was practicing, the effect of that practice will always remain with him. So even if he leaves, then when he comes back, he will not start from beginning. He will start from wherever he left.
I see what you mean, but I'm talking about like when, you know, when we have our own destinies in life,
Yeah.
and then Krishna wipes out some of our
Oh, you are saying that, okay, if someone leaves Krishna consciousness, then what's happened?
and then, yeah, so...
Yeah, so this is very, like, these kind of things are very difficult because, we are actually seeing a person's lifetime Maximum how much? 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, 100 years. This is very small. This is not very big. Like for example, if you study Bhagavatam, there is a king called Bharata.
Right.
Okay, so then he is a king. He is ruling the whole universe. After some time, he goes to forest and he is praying to the Lord, and he reached the stage of bhava bhakti. Then he became ecstatic.
Right.
He reached the stage of bhava bhakti. But then he also got attracted to a deer,
Right.
and he saved the deer.
Yeah.
And from that bhava platform,
Yeah.
he actually felt a mode of ignorance,
Right.
and then he took body of a deer.
Right.
So now if you only see up to this portion, then what do you think? This guy is blooped, he is gone, he is finished. Because he died and then he got body of a deer, right?
Right.
But the story is not ending there. But as a deer, he actually remembered his previous life.
Right.
And he had that human consciousness in deer body. And he was sitting with the sages, he was listening to Bhagavatam, he was eating only dry grass, and he was not interested in sex life, and he lived like a brahmachari deer, and then he gave up his body. And then he was born as Jadabharata,
Right.
another Brahmana. In the Brahmana family he was born. And in that family he remembered his 2 lifetimes. That he was king before, then he got deer body, now he is born in Brahmana family.
Right.
So then he was like a perfect devotee in that thing, but he did not show that he himself as a devotee. He showed himself as a stupid man. That's why he is called Jadabharata. So he showed himself as a stupid man. And but later, when one king insulted him, then he actually gave some nice instruction to the king. So that time we come to know he is an exalted devotee. So if you are saying that okay, a person took up to Krishna consciousness, then he left, but we are seeing only one lifetime. We don't know what happens to him in the next lifetime. Maybe Krishna will call him back in the next lifetime, and then he will continue to become great devotee.
Okay, I understand your point, but I think what I meant to say is like in our lives we have our destinies, right? Of events that should
Correct.
take place, right?
Yeah.
But then if we take to Krishna consciousness, apparently that gets changed, isn't it?
It may get changed, it may not get changed, but the effect of it will get changed. See, suppose, like for example, a person is supposed to become sick
Right.
according to his destiny.
Right.
Then he took up Krishna consciousness.
Right.
And he may still become sick,
Right.
but that sickness may actually make him a more serious devotee rather than that sickness making him miserable.
Oh.
Suppose if he is supposed to become sick and he become miserable,
Right.
okay, that sickness is coming to make him miserable,
Right.
okay, but because he is Krishna conscious, he may accept that sickness as Krishna's mercy, and then he may become a better devotee.
Oh.
So then that sickness is of no use. Is not prarabdha anymore.
Okay, again, I understand your point. So
Yeah.
you're able to spiritualize it to bring yourself closer to Krishna.
Yeah.
What I meant to say was like, you see, in our lives,
Mm.
we're given like destiny. So let's say Shriman Prabhu has a destiny of certain events that should take place.
Mm.
Prabhuji might do, I might do, you might do.
Mm.
But then if in our life, destiny apparently is that based on our prarabdha karma and our
Correct.
karmas, we have certain events that will take place
Yeah.
that we need to go through because of sufferings and things that would benefit us and then hold us as well, right?
Correct.
But then these certain aspects, some of them can be changed up.
Correct. Yeah.
Depending on our sincerity, right?
Yes. Yes.
But if there's certain events which cannot be changed, which should take place,
It will take place in such a way that it will simply help our Krishna consciousness.
if we're engaged in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
But then when they say destiny, does that mean that whatever happens, nobody can change the fact that that's
It's not like that. Krishna can change anything.
seriously? So when people say things are written, then it means that even the things that were meant to take place, regardless of anything before, Krishna can change them.
Yes.
So then, what about people that decide to embark on a spiritual journey, but then return to a previous path that they had? How would that be affected because of the Krishna consciousness?
Yeah. So the Krishna consciousness will have a permanent effect.
So that will have a permanent effect. So then, if they were to return to like a life that they used to live, then everything of that life would then be spiritualized because now they're Krishna consciousness.
No, it may not be. That life may have its own effect. Okay?
Right.
But Krishna may not leave them.
Oh.
Krishna will catch them in some other way, in some other lifetime. Krishna will come back and catch them. But because they had the experience of Krishna consciousness, like we have seen many times that, especially devotee children, they get all training in Krishna consciousness. Then when they become teenagers, their head blows. They go out of Krishna consciousness. They do so many things. And when they are 25 years, 20 years old, 25 years old, they get nicely kicked by Maya. Then they already know Krishna consciousness is the fact. So they simply come to Krishna consciousness and then they become very fixed up in Krishna consciousness. I have seen many times this happening.
But then what happens to their life now? Because obviously they're now engaged, but then does that mean it's just everything that they would do would just engage in Krishna service then, naturally? Is that-
Whatever experience they had, it will simply help them in Krishna consciousness. That's it.
Oh, okay, fine. So you're stating that even our destinies, Krishna can change them
Yeah.
based on our sincerity.
Krishna can change anything. He is Supreme Personality of God.
And sorry for so many questions.
Mm.
It's the last one. You know what they say the Dham is like the spiritual world?
Hmm?
You know what they say the Dham is like the spiritual world?
Dham is the spiritual world.
It is the spiritual world, right?
Hmm.
So how does, because obviously I understand it's this, one says it's a spiritual world, right? But then ourselves, we have a material body, right?
Hmm.
So even if we're interacting, we're not technically in the spiritual world in the sense that the actual spiritual world.
Hmm.
So when
Dham is the actual spiritual world.
but the thing is even the Dham is like that, right?
Mm.
Our experience of it wouldn't be the same as
Because we are having material eyes, so therefore we are seeing Dham as material.
Oh, like that. But the Dham itself is the spiritual world.
The Dham is spiritual world. Those who have that maturity can actually see the pastimes happening every day. But we don't have that maturity, so we don't see. Like in 10th canto, there is a very interesting explanation. Krishna left Vrindavan,
Right.
okay,
Right.
and then he went to Mathura, okay. But then the Acharyas are saying that who left Mathura was Vasudeva Krishna. Vrindavan Krishna never left Vrindavan. But everybody saw Krishna going. So Krishna left. And everybody is suffering, saying that Krishna is not there. And they are suffering so much, Krishna is not there. But Vrindavan Krishna has not left Vrindavan. So there is a whole another dimension
Right.
where they are actually enjoying with Vrindavan Krishna. So there is one dimension where they are suffering because Krishna has left.
Right.
There is a whole another dimension where they are actually enjoying because Krishna never leaves.
Right.
So these two dimensions are parallelly operating.
Oh,
These two dimensions are parallelly operating
right.
at the same time.
Right.
So spiritual world is like that.
Oh, so that almost like a parallel. So even though we're existing, we're in the part where Krishna's, you could say, left, whereas those that are in the Leela, they're associated with Krishna.
Yeah.
Both in parallel. And the ones that differentiate the ones who are materialized and spiritualized is the sincerity. Like that. Oh. So how can we get to that stage?
I don't know. I'm also finding out how can we get. If you come to know, you tell me. Hmm.
And is it so that the purest devotees, they're just able to constantly be engaged in Krishna service, engaged
Yeah.
in the leaders,
Yeah.
in the Swarupa,
Yes.
serving Krishna, and then because they're closer to Krishna, it'll be easier for them to return back because their consciousness is already in Krishna consciousness.
Yeah.
Is that-
So Krishna consciousness is the original multiverse.
Original
Multiverse.
multiverse,
Yeah.
but it is the only one.
Huh? No, now they introduce a concept called multiverse.
So what do they mean by that?
This is there is one Hollywood movie company. They introduced a concept called multiverse.
How does it work?
Means that the same characters are existing in different places and then they are doing different things in different places. This is the concept of
So
multiverse.
that's what happens in the spiritual world, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying Krishna consciousness is the original multiverse. It's not a new idea.
So does that mean that when we're in the spiritual world, we can exist in different places and be in the same place at the same time?
Yeah,
Then are we aware of what we're doing in other places while we're doing what we're doing?
yeah, looks like. Maybe or may not be. Depends on what the Lord wants. Okay, we're all back. Let's start reading. Translation, please read.
All the sages with a great respect, oh unconquerable soul joy of all sacrifice, all glories and all victories unto you. You are the moving in your form of the personal Veda, and in the air all of your body the ocean are submitted. For certain reason to uplift the earth, you have now assumed the form of bow.
Okay, next.
O Lord, your form is worshipable by performances of sacrifice, but souls who are simply miscreants or unable to say, all the Vedic hymns, Gayatri and others, are in the touch of your skin. In your bodily hairs is the kusha grass, in your eyes is the clarified butter, and in your forelegs are the 4 kinds of fruity activities.
O Lord, your tongue is a plate of sacrifice, your nostril is another plate of sacrifice, in your belly is the eating plate of sacrifice, and another plate of sacrifice is the holes of your ears. In your mouth is the Brahma plate of sacrifice, your throat is the plate of sacrifice known as Soma, and whatever you chew is known as Agnihotra.
Moreover, O Lord, the reputation of your appearance is the desire for all kinds of initiation. Your neck is the place for 3 deep desires, and your tusks are the result of initiation and the end of all desires. Your tongue is the prior activities of initiation. Your head is the fire without sacrifice as well as fire of worship, and your living forces are the aggregate of all desires.
O Lord, your semen is the sacrifice called Somayagya. Your growth is the ritualistic performance of the morning. Your skin and touch sensation are the 7 elements of the Agnishtama sacrifice. Your bodily joints are symbol of various other sacrifices performed in 12 days. Therefore, you are the object of all sacrifices called Soma and Asoma, and you are bound by Yagyas only.
So this is how, this is an explanation of how Lord bore his Yageshwara. Okay, please continue.
O Lord, you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead and are worshipable by universal prayers, Vedic hymns and sacrificial ingredients. We offer our obeisances unto you. You can be realized by the pure mind freed from all visible and invisible material contamination. We offer our respectful obeisances to you as the Supreme Spiritual Master of knowledge in devotion and service.
O leper of the earth with its mountains which you have left with your earth is treated as beautifully as a lotus flower with the leaves sustained by the inflated elephants just coming out of the water.
O Lord, as the peaks of great mountains become beautiful when decorated with clouds, your transcendental body has become beautiful because of your lifting the earth on the edge of your tusk.
So the cloud is not a big weight on the mountains. So same way, the earth was not a big weight for the Supreme Lord. The clouds are on the mountain and mountain is not telling, oh, how can I lift the cloud? Same way, the earth was not a big weight for the Supreme Lord.
O
Previously,
Lord,
it was described that the Lord actually lifted the earth like a elephant which lifts a white lotus from a pond. Okay, please read.
O Lord, for the residential purposes of all inhabitants, both moving and non-moving, this earth is your wife, and you are the Supreme Father. We offer our respectful obeisances unto you, along with Mother Earth, in whom you have invested your own potency. Just as an expert sacrificer puts fire in the Arani wood.
Yeah, so Bhuvaraha is very famous. The deity of Bhuvaraha is seen in so many different places, especially in Tamil Nadu. In my hometown also, originally it was Varaha Kshetra. Later that it was given to Lord Shiva. But originally it was Varaha Kshetra. And the original deity of my hometown is Bhuvaraha. Varaha with the deity of Mother Earth, Bhuvaraha.
What's your hometown too?
Kumbakonam.
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 Picking the deities of Panjab.
Who else but you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who could deliver the earth from within the water? It is not very wonderful for you. However, because you acted most wonderfully in the creation of the universe, by your energy, you have created this wonderful cosmic manifestation. So they are saying to Varahadev,
Yeah, these are prayers offered to Varahadev.
O Supreme Lord, undoubtedly we are inhabitants of the most pious planet, the Jana, Tapas and Satyaloka. But still we have been purified by the drops of water sprinkled from your shoulders, hairs by the shaking of your body.
The Lord also, normally like a hog, when it comes of water, it shakes its body. It shakes its body. So same way, the Lord also shook his body, and the water flew in all different planetary systems, and they were all sanctified by the touch of that water which came from the Lord's body. Okay.
O Lord, there is no limit to your wonderful activities. Anyone who desires to know the limit of your activities is certainly nonsensical. Everyone in this world is conditioned by the powerful mystic potencies. Please bestow your causeless mercy upon these conditioned souls.
Okay.
The sage Maitreya said, the Lord, being thus worshipped by all the great sages and transcendentalists, touched the earth with his hooves and placed it on the water.
In this manner, the personality of God, Lord Vishnu, the maintainer of all living entities, raised the earth from within the water, and having placed in a float of the water, he returned to his own abode.
If one hears and describes in a devotional service attitude this auspicious narration of Lord Bor, which is worthy of description, the Lord, who is within the heart of everyone, is very pleased.
Falashruti.
nothing remains unachieved when the Supreme Personality of Godhead is pleased with someone. By transcendental achievement, one understands everything else to be insignificant. One who engages in transcendental loving service is elevated to the highest perfectional stage by the Lord Himself, who is seated in everyone's heart.
Who other than one who is not a human being can exist in this world and not be interested in the ultimate goal of life? Who can refuse the nectar of narrations about the personality Godhead's activities, which by itself can deliver one from all material pangs?
Okay. Go back. Purports.